Hey there guys, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we will be reacting to SCP-715. My face that I may be, or yeah, my face that I may be. Huh. Anyway, aside from this being an SCP and another reaction video, and besides me needing a haircut cause my hair is getting to the point where it grows the opposite direction that it normally should. Not kidding. Let's press play and see what's gonna happen, shall we? And if you want to know what I mean by growing in whatever direction it pleases, here. That's literally how my hair grows. Back there.
It's Saturday night.
Anyway.
And a teenaged boy and girl are out on a date. They're strolling through a shopping mall with plans to see a movie later at the theater attached to the mall.
Totally not gonna. The girl's totally not gonna give a blowjob.
The girl spots something. It's a photo booth.
And she's gonna give him a BJ,
grabs the boy's hand and pulls him inside. They close the curtain, insert a coin, and the machine comes to life, snapping.
Or the other way around.
The two exit the booth, but both seem to be a little off. It's getting close to showtime, though, so they start making their way to the movie theater. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to the mall patrons, something is happening deep below the ground.
Oh boy.
The boy and girl exit the theater and walk
totally
on
not
and
something
on
that
through the
is
alley
gonna
back
kill him.
toward the parking lot where the boy left his car. It's late,
but then
the sun has long since set,
and they start having
all
sex.
Alone.
Yes, I say that without trying to censor it, cause fuck you, YouTube.
Bodies that are following them, getting closer and
closer.
It's the only one left in the parking lot, and the boy takes
and
out his
all
keys
of a
to
sudden,
unlock the car when he fumbles and drops them to the ground. As he bends over to pick them up, he finally sees who has been following them. It's them, a pair of doppelgangers coming straight towards them. They look exactly like the boy and girl, except for their faces, which are horribly distorted, with strange lumps and no eyes or mouths. They look as though they were a drawing of a face that was somehow smudged out. The boy quickly gets the keys and grabs the girl, dragging her away from the creatures, who are now reaching for the boy and girl, grasping and clawing at their faces as they try to moan through their skin-covered mouths. He gets the car unlocked, and both manage to get inside. As the creatures bang on the windows, the boy starts the engine and drives away, leaving the abominations behind. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-715, also known as My Face That I May Be. SCP-715 is a take-your-own-photo brand photo booth, a product of the Sony Corporation made in the 1970s. This is a standard-looking photo booth, bearing a close resemblance to the many thousands of others that were in operation around the world at the time, with no anomalous visual characteristics.
What I'm drinking is cola, by the way.
The only detail setting this machine apart from its countless brethren is a small metal tag, which has been added to the back of the machine at some point. But a significant amount of wear has made it impossible to read what, if anything, was ever stamped on the tag. SCP-715's basic operation is also not anomalous in appearance. It will only activate if an individual sits inside and inserts the required coinage, at which point it will take a series of photos, just like a normal photo booth. The photos will also appear normal, though often some will be heavily distorted and obscure the subject's face in various ways. What truly sets this photo booth apart, however, is what happens outside of the booth when the pictures are taken. While the individuals who had their photos taken, classified as SCP-715-B instances, are able to exit the booth with no obvious effects, below the mall, deep underground, something truly terrifying takes place. Underneath the mall is Site-81715, an extra-dimensional space which is accessible through a mall maintenance service door located in Sub-Basement 3, a door that does not appear on any of the mall's structural blueprints or in other records. The site consists of a giant cavernous room, which appears to have been hewn right out of the surrounding limestone. In the middle of the room is its most distinguishing feature, a large, deep pit. The walls of the pit are made of an unidentified substance, though it appears similar in both appearance and composition to human fat tissue. These fleshy walls secrete a powerful, corrosive substance, which makes examination and exploration of the pit particularly dangerous.
Or
When
more like impossible.
SCP-715 is activated in the mall above, a humanoid creature classified as SCP-715A will appear in this pit. The bodies of these creatures are similar in appearance to the individuals who had their picture taken in
Except
715,
their face.
but their faces are radically different. Each has severe facial disfigurements and abnormalities, such as large growths, deep lacerations, and the absence of facial features. After appearing in the pit, these SCP-715A instances will attempt to scale the fleshy walls of the pit and leave Site-81-715. These instances are considered hostile.
Neato.
Foundation security personnel are authorized to neutralize the creatures by any means necessary. Further research into how the SCP-715A entities are formed and what exactly the pit is are ongoing, and it's not clear
Cloning
to know
that.
how many 715A instances exist down in the pit. With the entities who were able to climb out of the pit able to be relatively easily neutralized by security forces,
How about
SCP-715
examined?
was originally classified as safe.
Doubt
It was
it.
contained at its point of origin within the mall in Ohio, and Foundation personnel posing as mall employees would collect the photos printed by the machine. However, following additional discoveries, this classification necessitated changing. The Foundation began noticing inconsistencies with SCP-715B entities after a researcher tested SCP-715 himself by sitting inside and having his photo taken. Soon after, he began acting in ways that were considered strange, such as when he turned down a promotion to a prominent position with better pay and perks for seemingly no reason, and when he skipped a mandatory site inspection for reality-bending anomalies. After noticing these strange behaviors, a Foundation research head had an anomalous optical enhancement device placed in the oddly acting researcher's bedroom and learned a surprising truth about the SCP-715A and B
They're
entities.
replaced.
The Foundation had been killing the wrong ones. The device, which
Yep.
could remove anomalous reality-distorting effects from images, showed that the researcher was actually one of the creatures from the pit, with the telltale facial distortions. Following this shocking revelation, the research head used the same device on the creatures still inside the pit underneath the mall. They found that when the anomalous visual effects were removed from the distorted creatures who were trying to get out of the fleshy pit, that they were actually normal-looking humans. These SCP-715A entities were the human beings who had entered the photo booth, had their pictures taken, and were somehow transported to the pit. They had been trying to escape their prison and tell the Foundation who they really were, but this only resulted in them being terminated by the on-site security forces. In
Oh,
order to fix this
wow.
mistake, SCP-715 was hastily reclassified as Keter, and SCP-715 was removed from the mall in order to be stored in a secure locker at Site-19. Research personnel were no longer able to access SCP-715 without special authorization, and study of the interior was limited to what could be done via remote drone use only. The Foundation began rounding up all known instances of SCP-715B, who were now the ones subjected to immediate termination. Foundation staff did manage to interview one 715B instance, though, who had been previously believed to be a fellow Foundation researcher. It is unknown exactly what the researcher doppelganger said in that interview, but it must have been extremely serious, as the end result was another complete change in protocol. All attempts to contain
boy.
and neutralize instances of SCP-715B would immediately cease, since if there were as many out in the world as the doppelganger claimed, then ultimately, it would better maintain normalcy and ensure the secrecy of SCP-715 if they were allowed to go free. Sadly, the same was not the case for the SCP-715A instances that still existed down in the pit. The researcher doppelganger advised that it would be unwise to remove them from the pit, and the current Foundation policy is that down in the pit is where they will remain. Following this interview, SCP-715 was reclassified once again as safe. The
And then
photo
back
booth
to
was
Keter.
also moved again, this time to a maximum security storage locker at Site-81, and Foundation personnel have been prohibited from interacting with SCP-715-B instances at all. However, there is one more piece of information about SCP-715.
You
And
don't
it is only
say.
accessible to those with proper security clearance.
Well, shit,
Another
I'm out.
Foundation agent was found to
I'm just
actually
a
be
deep
an
class
instance
personnel.
of SCP-715-B and taken into custody for observation. While under surveillance, it was discovered that this instance, classified as SCP-715-B7, was emitting low-level radiation that was somehow directed at Site-81-715, the location
Ooh.
of the pit. During an autopsy of the creature, it was found that the radioactive emissions were actually increasing in output and frequency, and soon after, a power outage and containment breach occurred at the site where the autopsy took place. Following these events, the body of SCP-715-B7 disappeared, and video surveillance confirmed that several members of Foundation staff were responsible, all of whom had been involved in SCP-715 research. The staff members escaped with the body and left no other evidence behind, save for a single photo with the ominous text, "My ears that I may hear, my eyes that I may see, my mouth that I may speak. Do not touch my face." No other information regarding SCP-715 has been found, and many questions remain. Just what are instances of 715-B, and what do they want? Are they some kind of hive mind
They want to bang.
Produces through the use of a mysterious photo booth? What happens to those left behind in the pit?
Not
And
much.
What will they do should they ever get out?
Take
Investigations
revenge,
are ongoing.
among other things.
Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, and
You know, maybe take a revenge. Try and get their faces back. Murder their clones, I guess. I mean... Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah, bye.